trucks.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's really great to have our band here. Thank you so much for providing such great introductory music. Get us in the spirit of this wonderful Yom HaAtzmaut, Israeli Independence Day Shabbat. If you've ever been in Israel on this day, you'll notice it's very joyous and exciting after a day of mourning of Yom HaZikaron of Memorial Day. So it's nice to have that spirit on Shabbat as well. And we are so glad that you have joined us. We're going to begin with a reading on the screen. Al HaNisim for Yom HaAtzmaut, Rabbi Yehuda Amir. We thank you for the miracles and the redemption, for saving acts and consolations brought about by you for our ancestors in days past at this season, for the miracle of our revival and the rebuilding of our lives in our homeland, the font of our existence after 2,000 years of exile, for inner strength of a nation that rose from the depths and struggled until it again achieved independence, self-defense, and upbuilding, for the bravery of the fighters who risked their lives and bequeathed us life, prosperity, and creativity, for the ingathering of our exiles from the four corners of the earth, and for the rich heritage of our communities and tribes, beliefs and outlooks, traditions and prayers, for the courage to declare before the nations of the world that our lives will be founded on the basis of freedom, justice, and peace, in keeping with the wisdom of Israel's prophets, for the faith and the hope, the striving for peace between the children of Sarah and the children of Hagar, and for the hope and longing for redemption that move us and guide our steps. Before we light candles, I wonder if when you're walking in today, you may have noticed a small sapling on your left-hand side. On Mitzvah Day, we planted a tree. We had a lot of help to do that, so I really appreciate the religious school and some volunteers doing that with me. It was a really fun experience, and I included in my rumination the ceremony that Janet and I did, but I wanted to tell you more about the impetus for the actual planting of the tree. So we planted a tulip tree, which sometime in the fall will drop yellow leaves. And yellow has become the symbolic color for the hostages in Israel and Gaza. And as the leaves fall, we can continue to pray for those hostages' release. When I went to the Nova site in January, the JNF had planted a tree for each person who was either killed or taken hostage to help their memory continue to live on and to thrive, just as they had when they were alive. And so this is what we're able to do in their memory. We also planted the tree on the cusp of many great Jewish observances and Israeli ones. So recently, Rosh Chodesh Iyar passed on Tuesday, which is a month of healing and of aspiring to see something better. It's also a time of mourning. And when we have all these Israeli holidays, like Yom HaZikaron, which was on Wednesday, which is Israel's Memorial Day for the soldiers. And if you're ever in Israel for that, you might hear a 2-minute siren blast where everyone stops and gets out of their cars and has a moment of silence. And I wanted to have the tree planting sort of be the same effect of like a stark moment of pausing when you walk by it to remember people. And then lastly, the tree was also for Yom HaAtzmaut, which we are celebrating today. Again, a day of great joy. And so the tree, it represents both sadness and happiness. And I hope that when you walk by it each day, you can remember the hostages and anyone who's been affected by October 7th and try to live out their memory in your lives. We're going to turn to page 2 for candle lighting.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel
Join together for Lecha Dodi, page 20. We do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad hishmiyanu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shemo tiferet v'litzchila Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 p'nei Shabbat nekavela Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 p'nei Shabbat nekavela likrat Shabbat lechu v'lecha ki hi v'kor habracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machasha batechila Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 p'nei Shabbat nekavela Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 p'nei Shabbat nekavela Hitoreri hitoreri ki ba'orek u'mi'ori Kevod Adonai Alai Yichtigla Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 p'nei Shabbat nekavela Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 p'nei Shabbat nekavela
Please rise and face the doors.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha u'tzochola toch emuneh Adonai, Adonai, Pnei Shabbat, Nekabela, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kalai, Adonai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nekabela.
Please be seated. Continue with a reading on the screen. And every person with God's light within went in search of his star as the day grew dim. At the hour of the primeval chaos, the hour of realms intertwined, with end and beginning, destroying and building, old age and youth combined. Continue on page 22.
Almost all the music tonight is Israeli composers or Israeli folk songs, and Sadiq Katamar is a very old Israeli dance. If you want to learn more about the dance, come see me after. But the first part goes like this. Sadiq Katamar yifrach yifrach. Try that. Sadiq Katamar yifrach yifrach. Sadiq Katamar yifrach. Sadiq Katamar yifrach. Putting it together. Sadiq Katamar yifrach yifrach. Sadiq Katamar yifrach. Beautiful, and it repeats. Sadiq Katamar yifrach yifrach. Sadiq Katamar yifrach. Part 2. Ke'erez balvanon yiske. Your turn. Ke'erez balvanon yiske. Ke'erez balvanon yiske. Ke'erez balvanon yiske. Ke'erez balvanon yiske yiske. Ke'erez balvanon yiske yiske. And it repeats again. Ke'erez balvanon yiske. Ke'erez balvanon yiske. Ke'erez balvanon yiske yiske. Beautiful. Let's add the band. Sadiq Katamar yifrach yifrach. Sadiq Katamar yifrach. Sadiq Katamar yifrach yifrach. Sadiq Katamar yifrach. Ke'erez balvanon yiske. Ke'erez balvanon yiske. Ke'erez balvanon yiske yiske. Ke'erez balvanon yiske. Ke'erez balvanon yiske. Ke'erez balvanon yiske yiske. Sadiq Katamar yifrach yifrach. Sadiq Katamar yifrach. Sadiq Katamar yifrach yifrach. Sadiq Katamar yifrach. Ke'erez balvanon yiske. Ke'erez balvanon yiske. Ke'erez balvanon yiske yiske. Ke'erez balvanon yiske. Ke'erez balvanon yiske. Ke'erez balvanon yiske yiske.
Continue with the Hati Kaddish on page 26. Moving into our next section.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דיברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כה ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן.
Page 29. There is one who sings a song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings a song of her people. There is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. Nivarech, let us bless. We rise if we're able to on page 28.
Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai. Baruch et Adonai,
Continue with a reading on the screen. Eli, Eli.
Eli, Eli, shelo yigamer le'olam, hachol ve'hayam, rishru shel hamayim, berak hashamayim, Tfilat ha'adam, hachol ve'hayam, rishru shel hamayim, merak hashamayim, tfilat ha'adam. Oh God, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart.
Page 33, below the line. Torah is what God has revealed to us when we discern of God ideas and ideals, laws and mitzvot, our religious heritage. It unfolds our memories of Abraham and Sarah, of Moses and Miriam and the prophets. It is legislation and explanation, allowing questions that challenge, answers that inspire, all a quest for meaning. It is our way of life, a path for our souls, and a design for a better world. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai
seated. We're on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go is eternally Egypt. That there is a better place, a promised land. That the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Page 40. Page 43. Join together in the English at the top of the page. Let there be love and understanding among us.
Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Our delight in Shabbat with Yismechu, the bottom of page 44. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'kol ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת, והשביעי רצית בו וקדשתו שבת, חמדן ימים אותו קראת זכר למעשה בראשית, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת.
We turn to the Amidah on page 46. Please rise if you're able to.
Adonai, sefatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Mekonei Hakol, Mezocher Chastei Avot Be'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rab Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Melech, Melech Meimit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehallelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. Page 55. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency, make us dissatisfied. Dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai, deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Continue with a reading on the screen. Nizkor by Abba Kovner. May we remember our brothers and our sisters, the homes and the cities and houses and the villages, the streets of the town that bustled like rivers, and the inn standing solitary on the way. The old man with his etched-out features, the mother in her shawl, the girl with her braids, the children. The thousands of Jewish communities, people with their families, the entire congregations of Jews that was brought to the slaughter upon the soil of Europe by the German executioner. The man who screamed out suddenly and died screaming. Woman who clutched a baby to her breast, arms tumbling down. The baby whose fingers groped over her mother's nipple that was blue and cold. The legs that sought refuge, and there was no escape. And they who clenched their hands into fists, the fists that gripped iron, the iron that was the weapon of the vision, the despair, and the revolt. And those with staunch hearts, and those with open eyes, and those who cast away their souls without being able to offer salvation. We shall remember the day in its noon, the sun that rose over the stake of blood, the skies that stood high and silent. We shall remember the mounds of ash beneath flowering gardens. The living shall remember their dead, for behold, they are here before us. Behold, as their eyes stare around and about, so let us not be silent until our lives are worthy of their memory. Page 61. Nation shall not take up sword against nation. They shall never again know war. Take time for silent prayer and internal reflection.
Our prayer for peace, Ojivo, is on page 353. Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, salam shalom. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, salam shalom. Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, salam aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam.
I'm so excited to welcome to our community this evening, Lior. This is Zisser Yogev. She is our community's shlicha, our Israeli ambassador to the Jewish Federation of Detroit. She grew up in Givat Ella in Emek, Israel, in Detroit's Partnership region. After finishing her army service as a combat soldier and a teacher, she worked in other Jewish summer camps. She has a BA in Education and Political Science, an MA in Public Policy and Management, both from Hebrew University, and a teaching certificate in Civil Studies. For the past 8 years, she has worked in various roles for different ministries in the Israeli government, such as the Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs, the Ministry for Social Equality, and the Civil Service Commission. She moved here from Israel 2 years ago with her family, her husband Gil, and her daughters Ziv and Rona. We're really excited to hear what you have to share with us this evening.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. Really, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I will say that in one of the summer camps where I worked was Camp Azrui in Wisconsin, and I worked with Rabbi Ben Altshuler's sister, Hannah. Rabbi Shribben's sister-in-law, and she's awesome, so that was really cool. I'm glad to be with you tonight. It's a very special time to be standing here, and Rabbi Shribben mentioned the very special time that we're in right now, and I'll talk a little bit about that for the Par Israel. So during these days, we call them in Israel Hayamim Halaumim, the national days, or the Yoms. Here in America, they're referred to as the Yoms. And it's the national holidays that mark the deepest sadness, but also the happiest of celebrations. We have Yom HaZikaron, Israel's Memorial Day, and Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel's Independence Day. And Memorial Day in Israel, you know, is quite different than Memorial Day here. And I'm sure that you've all been a part of the different things happening here, but as part of my role as the Shlicha, I'm responsible of commemorating these special events here in Metro Detroit. So 2 nights ago, we gathered as a community, 400 people in the Berman and the JCC on the eve of Yom HaZikaron. It was a beautiful vigil. The theme was Songs of Sacrifice, and we heard in the program through words and music, we honored the fallen soldiers and the victims of terror. And we listened to songs that were written by fallen soldiers or about them. And we heard from Captain Ro'i, who came from Israel, from the IDF, to share his personal story from the past 18 months, but also to share his chilling, beautiful song, Hashar HaTzaov, the Yellow Gate, that he wrote about his experience fighting in Kibbutz Be'eri on October 7th. And we were honored to come together in the prayer for the state of Israel, led by Rabbi Shribman. And the stories and testimonials and songs that we've heard, they really reminded us of the strength, the resilience, and the power of the people of Israel. And now it's like we're turning a light switch in our heads from, the very sad occasion of Yom HaZikaron. We're in deep preparations for the Yom HaAtzmaut event and celebration that's going to be this coming Sunday in the Detroit Zoo. I'm really glad that Temple Kolami is one of our many partners on this incredible event, and we're going to have over 1,500 people coming together to this really meaningful event, and I can't wait to celebrate Israel with the Jewish community of Detroit. But this transition from Zikaron and Atzmaut, from grief to celebration, from sorrow to happiness, it's not an easy transition. It's a hard shift to make for anyone in Israel, but mostly for people who have personally known grief and loss, like me. As you may know, I lost my little brother, Eli Zisser, on October 7th. He fell in battle against Hamas terrorists in Kibbutz Kfar Aza on that cursed day. And so for families like mine, 1,867 families of soldiers and victims of terror who fell since October 7th, and really for anyone living in Israel, the sorrow is so great that there's barely any room for anything else, let alone Independence Day celebrations. The memory of the people that we lost is too fresh in our minds. The void has yet to fill, and I don't know if it ever will be filled. And we meet it every single day, not just on Yom HaZikaron. And the Israeli author, Meir Shalev, wrote about this in his book, Esav, on this experience of bereaved families in Israel going through countless moments, places, and rituals that turn memory into an everlasting reality, ever-present reality. And he writes, do you know how many Memorial Days a family like this has in a year? We have the National Memorial Day, Yom HaZikaron, the Brigade's Memorial Day, the Unit's Memorial Day, the regional commands, the schools, the village, so that we never have a single moment of boredom. And what about my own personal Memorial Days? The day he was born, the day that he fell, the day I saw him for the last time? What about the moments of memory when you passed by the tree he fell from when he was 6? The silent minute when you see someone on the street who was in his class? The fleeting second of remembrance because someone was blonde, just like he was? Meir Shalev writes what, for many Israelis, Yom HaZikaron, it's not just a date on the calendar, it's a date that immerses all Israelis in the never-ending experience of memory that bereaved families go through every day. And it's a day that sanctifies and perpetuates our collective memory. And as you know, this day, the status of our year is closely followed, almost impossibly, by Yom HaAtzmaut, which is a joyful celebration of Israel's existence and its tremendous achievements. It's always been a matter of public debate. Should these two completely different days come one after the other so closely? But I believe that these 2 days are not different at all. They are both memorial days. One, the days in which we remember together. I also wrote about this in the Jewish News recently. I wrote that the Jewish tradition has always been rooted in collective memory. Our holidays are built around the concept of storytelling and sharing our history with the next generation. V'higaret lebincha, as we recite every Passover. You shall tell your son, 2 weeks before Israel's national days on Passover every year. And just as the Jewish tradition commands us, on every National Memorial Day and Independence Day celebration, we're commanded to tell our sons and daughters of the people we've lost, who crafted our history. For them, we're forever grateful, and without them, we wouldn't be here today. So growing up in Israel, I always understood these 2 consecutive days as part of our national identity. But ever since October 7th, the 2 yoms have become deeply personal. Ever since I lost Eli on October 7th, every day is Yom HaZikaron, a day full of remembering. Eli is in my thoughts all the time, in the weirdest moments, and I'm still surprised at the random things that bring up these memories. For example, making coffee in my espresso machine every morning reminds me of how Eli turned coffee making into a sacred and precise ritual everyone made fun of. Or reading Harry Potter with my daughters remind me of how we spent hours reading and talking about the book that we both loved. Playing board games with the family brings back how Eli and I turned every simple card game into a serious, uncompromising competition. And seeing names, and we took it very seriously, and seeing names of soldiers that are still losing their lives in this ongoing war in Israel, it brings Eli's image to my mind, thinking of their poor families and what they must be going through. I remember him as the sweet baby that he was and the amazing young man he grew up to be. I see him in my mind at family events or surrounded by his friends, in his army uniform or an old Tamarack camp t-shirt. As a little brother, I admired, and as the adult, I looked up to. And at first, the memories only brought pain. Every recollection of Eli brought tears to my eyes, a sharp ache that felt unbearable. But as time goes by, these memories invite other feelings. Alongside the grief comes nostalgia, warmth, and even joy. The same memories that would only make me cry are now bringing me comfort and healing. They make me smile and sometimes even laugh. So maybe this process of overcoming loss that I'm experiencing on the personal level, maybe the transition between memories that bring sadness and memories that bring joy is what Israel is going through when it moves from Yom HaZikaron to Yom HaAtzmaut. It's what our nation has learned over centuries of Jewish history. We as Jews are experts at both weeping and rejoicing over our memories. The old joke, do you know that about the Jewish holidays? They tried to kill us and they failed, so let's eat. Captures the essence of our existence. We don't overlook the pain and grief, but we don't let it define us. As we are reminded of our history, which is sometimes painful and other times more often it's remarkable, we mourn and then we celebrate. These 2 conflicting yet complementing emotions are both the result of the same shared memories. In Pesach, we remember slavery and torture in Egypt, but then we celebrate freedom and peoplehood. During this present time, Sfirat HaOmer, the counting of the Omer between Pesach and Shavuot, we hold both sorrow and hope. We mourn the losses of the past while counting towards the joy of receiving the Torah. And then shortly after Shavuot, we fast on Tisha B'Av. It's a sad Memorial Day in the Jewish year, remembering the destruction of both temples over baseless hatred. But even in Tisha B'Av, there's a glimpse of hope. The tradition says that the Messiah, Mashiach, will be born on Tisha B'Av, and the day after begins a slow ascent towards Tu B'Av, the holiday of love and unity in the Jewish tradition. So the Jewish people, Livriut, bless you. The Jewish people are reminded all the time that even in grief, we keep moving towards a purpose. The same memories bring sadness, and then they bring happiness. Tears, and then smiles. This is why the transition from Yom HaZikaron, Memorial Day, to Yom HaAtzmaut, Independence Day, is so powerful. We move from remembering our fallen to remembering their achievements. We cry over those we lost, and then celebrate the very existence they fought to protect. We move together from crying as a community to celebrating as a community over the same exact memories. So on these days of collective memory, I invite you to remember together and hold space for both grief and joy in our hearts. We will stand as a community and remind ourselves that memory, personal and collective, is what binds us together. These are challenging days for Israel and for the Jewish people all around the world. But even in dark times, we need to remember and to be reminded that we will overcome this, just like we overcame everything before this. So I hope to see all of you this coming Sunday in our community celebration of Israel. Just as Israel does every year, our Jewish community will shift from grief to celebration, celebrating Israel's 77th Independence Day together in a special community, white and blue, at the zoo, number 2. It's going to be a beautiful community event that brings us together to stand with Israel, Jews from different sects and organizations, united around shared memory and a sense of community. And I hope to see you all there. Toda rabba. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you.
Toda rabba.
Thank you so
Shabbat
much.
shalom. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing some of your story and your experience with us. It's really helpful to learn and to hear about. We want to offer a prayer for Israel, for all those that Lior spoke of and all that we've thought of this evening and this week. It'll be on the screen for us.
Avinu Shabashamayim, Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael, Tzur Yisrael, Goalo. Avinu Shabashamayim, Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael, Tzur Yisrael, Goalo. Wherever I go, wherever I go, wherever I roam, I'll always know I have a home, in Yisrael, And if I'm lost, and don't agree, well, I still know what she can be. My Yisrael, Avinu Shabashamayim, Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael, Vegoalo. I pray for peace, I pray for love, I pray that light will shine above on Yisrael, Oh, I ask you, my Redeemer, I ask you, when you see her, protect her, love her, as I do, Avinu Shabashamayim, Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael, Vegoalo. שבשמיים, אבינו שבשמיים, צור ישראל, צור ישראל, וגואלו.
We offer a prayer of healing for those in our community as well. The community of B'nai Israel is thinking of Rivka bat Chaya, Michal bat Leah, Leba Elka bat Shea, Michael Golob, Brad Hummel, Harriet Stone, Benjamin Shimon ben Gittel, Rosalind Meyer, Yehoshua Naphtali ben Chana, Ehud ben Gila, Rivka bat Ita, Yitzhak ben Ita, Miriam bat Sarah, Elliot Rappaport, Cindy Victor, Bila bat Leah, Tova bat Basha, Michal Aharona bat Dina Fega, Andy Bader, Marlene Margolis, Mark Siegel, Daniel Ben Zissel, Mark Schuster, Clint Willis, Esther Rachel bat Chana, Moshe ben Sarah, Zissa Kala bat Peroleba, Richard and Barbara Yanata, Eliyahu ben Chava and Asher, Elaine Siegel, Yisrael ben Fega, and Patrick Williams. And Temple Kolami is thinking of Suzanne Christie, Joe Crane, Francis Detmer, Mickey Engler, Richard Fordyce, Howard Fridson, Amanda Fry, Joel Katz, Marvin Klein, Daniel Mayo, Donald Nichols, Micah Nichols, Sylvia Orduno, Carol Benovowitz, Susan Rubenstein, Brenda Saperstein, Helen Schuster, Marcia Silverman, and Judy Zimmerman. If you have any names to add or correct, I encourage you to do so.
Rachel Batlea, Linda Folkoff, and Steve Fisher.
Sheldon, Marco, and Jerry Bethel.
We hold all those names in our hearts and offer a blessing of healing that's on our screen. As we are in the period between Passover and Shavuot, we are counting the Omer, We are on page 278. I invite you to rise. We can do this ritual together. Hineni muchan zuman l'kayem mitzvat aseh shel sifriyat ha'omer. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, al sfirat ha'omer, al sfirat ha'omer, al sfirat ha'omer, al sfirat ha'omer.
Hayom Tisha Aser Yom Shehem Shnei Shavuot U Chamisha Yamim LaOmer. Today is the 19th day of the Omer. It's been 2 weeks and 5 days. We remain standing for the Aleinu, page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'teit gedula le'otzer b'reishit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, ve'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, ve'goraleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, livnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai, lemelech al kol ha'aretz, v'yom hahu, v'yom hahu,
We think of those who have passed away in this season and years past. The community of B'nai Israel is thinking of Lillian Ruth Levin, Max Nussbaum, Irving Victor, Imre Erdos, Sarah Kurland Friedenberg, Donald Nuschultz, Robert Perry Schloss, Avram Greenbaum, and Gertrude Greenbaum. And Temple Kolami is remembering Roger Ford, Mary Rebecca Buchsbaum, Meyer Davidson, Mary Ehrlich, William Faber, David Falick, Estelle Gladstone, William Graff, Fern Hennig, Michael Joseph Hunter, Freda Kramer, Myron Mazel, Helen Nadelberg, Gertrude Rosen, Sylvia Rosenthal, Ruben Selitsky, Judith Schiffman, and Samuel Topper. If you have any names to add or correct, I encourage you to do so. We rise in solidarity for Kaddish, page 294.
Yitzgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyamechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'alam ulamei almaya, Yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitzpa'ar v'yitzromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitzaleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, Mechayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'yimeru amen.
Please be seated. Jean has announcements for us. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
It is great to see so many people here. I love doing announcements on the first Friday. Thank you to our ushers and our stream team, and a special thanks to our speaker. That was really interesting. We appreciate it. Next Friday, May 9th, is graduation Shabbat, and we'll be honoring our graduating seniors on this night. Join Rabbi Shripman and Janet Christensen for a prayer walk on Saturday, May 10th at 11:30. We'll meet at the Maple Ridge Pavilion at Marshbank Park. The walk will be around 2 miles outdoors. Dress for whatever weather we have that day. There'll be no services in the TKA building. Yortzeit names will be read during the walk. Join us for a family Shabbat on Saturday, May 17th at 9:30 a.m., a Shabbat morning service for kids and adults with music and a story from Rabbi Shribman. In collaboration with Temple Israel, join us in welcoming author Dahlia Marks, where she will have a discussion entitled They Must Be Whole, the counting of the Omer, and what does it have to do with us? This will take place on Saturday, May 17th at 12:30 at Temple Israel, and the $18 cost includes lunch. Save the date for the TKA annual fundraiser. This year, it's on May 17th, which is a couple weeks from now. We're featuring Israeli-American comedian Benji Lovett. Since moving to Israel in 2006, Benji has performed for audiences around the world. We will laugh and explore how Israelis and Jews around the world turn to comedy to cope with the worst events of their lifetimes. This event is presented with TKA Sisterhood and Brotherhood, and see the weekly email for all the details. And also remember, we have Sisterhood Shabbat tomorrow. So please, that is going to be in the main sanctuary, so please come to that. Wishing everybody a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you. Our Manit will come help us with Kiddush and Motzi on page 5. Thank you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu Zikaron lema'aseh bereshit Ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh Zecher litziat Mitzrayim Ki vanu v'acharta Ve'otanu kidashta Mikol hamim Ve'shabbat Be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen.
do Motzi as well. Thank you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your
Take it
first
home.
bite. Our closing song is Adon Olam, page 321.
Adon olam, asher malach, b'terem kol yitzir nivra, le'et na'asa, v'chesed kol, azay melech shemo nikra, ve'acharei kichlot hakol, levado yimloch nora, ve'hu haya, ve'hu hoveh, ve'hu yiyeh, v'tifaro. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra, le'et nasa v'chesed kol azar melech shemo nikra, v'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora, ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yiyeh v'tifara. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra, le'et nasa v'chesed kol azar melech shemo nikra, v'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora, ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh v'tifara, ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh v'tifara.
Thank you so much to our band. What great music we had this evening. May you feel whole, knowing you are enough. May you feel confident, knowing you are prepared. May you feel calm, knowing the storm will pass. And may you feel at peace, knowing you are loved. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
We have oneg prepared for us by B'nai Israel, so I hope you'll come and enjoy.